Welcome back to Cronkite News. I'm Andrew Kurland, and this is your Cronkite Sports Report. A local tennis player filed a lawsuit against the United States Tennis Association this week, alleging she was sexually harassed and assaulted while training at a USTA facility in Florida. Much like the suit against USA Gymnastics, this lawsuit looks to hold tennis's governing body responsible for protecting its players. Cronkite News reporter Brianna Isbell has the story.
Valley native Kylie McKenzie was once known as one of America's most promising junior tennis players. This week, accompanied by her lawyer and victim advocate, she took legal action against the organization that recruited her and the person she once considered a role model and guardian.
Kylie was the subject of sexual innuendo and misconduct almost from the day she started training with the USTA.
I was born, raised, and continued to train in the Phoenix area. I started playing tennis when I was just 4 years old and immediately fell in love with the game. When I was 12 years old, the United States Tennis Association recruited me to train full-time at their state-of-the-art training center in California.
McKenzie moved to the USTA facility in Florida, and it was there she claims USTA coach Annabelle Aranda harassed and assaulted her. McKenzie's lawyer says the coach had a history of sexual assault with at least one other woman, but says this information was concealed from McKenzie and her family, making the USTA culpable.
After weeks of harassment and with the confidence that Kylie had been fully groomed, Aranda pounced by violating the most private part of Kylie's body.
I spent most of my time alone in my room just wanting to sleep. I experienced panic attacks at the USTA center when trying to practice, and I had one so severe that a doctor had to be called to the center, who then prescribed me Xanax in the training room.
While navigating the civil suit filed against the United States Tennis Association, Kylie says she's trying her best to stay strong during this time and focus on training and re-strengthening her mental health.
I continue to fully focus on a comeback to the Pro Tour. I know that I am still capable of playing at a very high level and have the same promise I did as a young teen.
In his testimony during an investigation ordered by the USTA, Aranda denied ever touching McKenzie inappropriately. The USTA has since suspended and fired the former tennis coach and is yet to comment on this lawsuit. In Tempe, Brianna Isbell, Cronkite News.
In a battle of the top teams in the West, the Suns defeated the Warriors last night 107-103 in San Francisco. Devin Booker made less than a quarter of his shots. DeAndre Ayton converted on less than 50% on the night. Yet head coach Monty Williams told the team that's not what matters when it comes to winning games.
He thought he didn't play that well because he was 7 for 17, and I only showed him like part of the stat sheet. And then I slid my hand down and showed him where he had 16 rebounds, and he goes, "Oh," I said, "Yeah, that's how you win." Right. So even on nights when you don't shoot the ball well, you can find ways to affect the game.
Now the Suns are at 62-14 and have clinched the #1 seed in the West. And one more win, they'll set a franchise record for most wins in a season. It's a busy stretch before the playoffs, and they'll play second-seeded Grizzlies tomorrow. Then on April 5th, it's back to Phoenix to take on the Lakers. After that, they're on the road for back-to-back games against the Clippers and Jazz, and will then wrap the season up against the Kings.
We've just been there before. We know the antics. We understand that we do have a target on our backs, being the best team in the NBA. So all that comes with it. But we just, we always preach the wear down effect and just weather the storm. There's going to be runs, and that's when we need each other more. That's when we come together.
Well, even though the Coyotes are eliminated from the playoffs, they did manage to end their 6-game losing streak with a 5-2 win against the Sharks in Glendale last night. But with that win came a big loss for the Coyotes. They lost All-Star forward Clayton Keller for the remainder of the season due to a gruesome lower body injury, resulting in him being carried off the ice on a stretcher. Keller underwent successful surgery this morning on his fractured knee and is expected to miss 4 to 6 months, but will make a full recovery.
It's not your best player. He's a human. To see him in pain like that, to see a guy who cares as much as skills and who he's a huge leader in our team, and he cares a lot, and he competes a lot. And seeing him in pain like that, that is what's hurt.
The Geico High School National Tournament is underway, and AZ Compass Prep is ready to make a championship run. Cronkite News reporter Anya Rogers sees how the boys varsity basketball team is preparing for their competition.
With 8 players going to Division I programs next year, the AZ Compass Prep Dragons are competing in the Geico High School National Tournament as the only team from Arizona.
Just trying to get ready to go to Fort Myers and win 3 games and win a national championship, something that's never been done in the state of Arizona.
Coach Ed Gibson says that the Dragons have really been connecting and vibing, creating their own team culture.
Just as a team, we play defense. We're going to get out on the court. We're going to play hard, play together, play smart.
The Dragons will open at the Geico Nationals against Montverde of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the same team they lost to in the semifinals last year.
It's almost like a little rivalry now because we played them twice last year. We both of them, one game went into overtime, and the other one we lost on a 3-pointer that we missed. So it's going to be a good game. They're a great coach team. They got a lot of former guys that's in the NBA, and we're trying to make a name for ourselves, so it's going to be good.
They have the top players in the class, Tariq and all that. So right now we're trying to work on our defense, make sure we're pressuring the ball, stuff like that, and executing really.
The Dragons started their season ranked number 1 in the country and are currently ranked number 7, but ready to end number 1 at Nationals. In Chandler, Anya Rogers, Cronkite News.
Former Arizona Cardinals head coach Bruce Arians retired from coaching yesterday and will transition to a front office role. The 2012 and 2014 Coach of the Year led the Cardinals to their franchise best record of 13-3, along with the trip to the NFC Championship in 2015. He holds a head coaching record of 80-41-1 in the NFL and won the Super Bowl 55 as head coach of the Buccaneers in 2021. Today is a special anniversary for the U Arizona men's basketball team. 25 years ago today, they defeated Kentucky to win the 1997 NCAA National Championship, the first and only championship title in the program's history. Well, that'll do it for today's Cronkite Sports Report. Back to you, Fatma.